Hi, this is Alessio. Hope you're well. With a quick update for you on Bitcoin. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you some potentially good news and some potentially bad news on Bitcoin as well. Now, when I say bad news, actually, it's probably not that bad once you hear it. Now, here's what's interesting about Bitcoin right now. Currently, we're approaching the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement, about the 13,300 level. We're not that far off, as a matter of fact. That's a key level of resistance on Bitcoin, and we shall see if that level holds or not. Now, here's what's interesting. In a few moments, I'm going to share with you what is interesting about this chart of Bitcoin. This is a 2-day chart of Bitcoin, and in a few moments, I'm going to share with you what this purple bar you see here means. Something quite important and interesting about that. Now, before I do that, though, let me first of all mention this. A few nights ago, Jason Gebhardt, who looks at market sentiment and statistics, said something very interesting. I have to tell you, I was quite surprised when I read this. He said, the Bitcoin bubble model. Sentiment on Bitcoin is jumping, but it is below other euphoric peaks. Barely half of bubble signals have triggered, unlike past peaks when 100% of them did. So he's talking about the previous peaks in 2017 and also in 2013, the previous bubble peaks of Bitcoin. And he is saying, even though Bitcoin may appear to be in a bubble like we were in 2017, it has not yet reached 100% of the bubble signals like we did in 2017. So that's something important to appreciate. That's not all. It means this too. It means even though the sentiment on Bitcoin has reached extreme bullishness like we were in 2017, that by itself is not enough. So even though we've seen a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out, a lot of bullishness and extreme optimism in Bitcoin, that's still not enough. And the reason I found out is because of this. Let me show you. So over the last few months, I've been working on another indicator, very important indicator, to warn us of another bubble. So take a look at this. This is where Bitcoin is right now. Now look on the left-hand side. This is the 2017 peak in Bitcoin. And notice the massive rise that we had in Bitcoin at the time, a massive parabolic rise. And notice to what we see here on the left-hand side there. You will see this purple bar right there. In fact, let me just, there it is. So that purple bar is what's called the LT acceleration extreme signal. By the way, you'll see the exact same signal in the bottom panel, in the indicator version in the bottom panel right there. That purple signal. That signal essentially warns us of an extreme acceleration or extreme bubble territory in Bitcoin. Just to let you know, this indicator uses 8 data points to warn us of a massive bubble. By the way, let me just show you. If I just go on the settings of this indicator, what I've done is I've created a special setting just for cryptos. As you'll see right there, strict criteria for cryptos. And at the moment, it's set to the very strong setting with extreme strict criteria for cryptos only. And here's what you'll see. Notice the last time this signal was generated, this is a 2-day chart of Bitcoin. And look at that purple bar right there. The last time this signal was generated on Bitcoin, it came right before a devastating crash in Bitcoin, which then dropped, of course, by about 85%. By the way, you're probably wondering, did it generate a similar signal back in 2013? Yes, it did. As you'll see here, massive bubble in Bitcoin, as you can see there. And then there it is, that purple signal right there, right before a devastating crash and drop in the price of Bitcoin. In other words, guys, when you see a signal like that on the acceleration extreme, that means we have an 80% probability, 80 to 85% probability of a potential devastating crash or reversal in the price of Bitcoin. By the way, let me say something quite important here. There are some people out there who think that Bitcoin was not in a bubble in the year 2017, despite the massive surge in the price. Now, their argument is that Bitcoin was not in a bubble in the year 2017 because if in the future Bitcoin goes to 100,000, then 20,000 is nothing. However, guys, they are wrong. Because you see, there are 3 things you need for a bubble, and it's not just the price. So a lot of people think that the only thing that makes a bubble is the price. That's not true. So yes, price is important, but there are 2 other things you need for a bubble to take place. The second thing is extreme optimism or euphoria. And the third thing, this is the key thing here, is extreme price acceleration. All right, guys? So the folks out there who think that Bitcoin was not in a bubble in the year 2017 are wrong because they're forgetting the price acceleration, the rate and the speed at which Bitcoin was moving. And those are the 3 things you need, guys, for a bubble to take place. Now, have all 3 things triggered on Bitcoin? Well, 2 things have, a surge in the price and extreme optimism, but we have not seen the third factor, extreme acceleration. And that is a key component you need to see on Bitcoin before we can be confident or have more degree of probability that Bitcoin is reaching bubble territory. And according to Jason, and according to what we see on the charts, we have not potentially reached those levels. That means this, guys. It means that even though the fact is Bitcoin is overstretched, and yes, it is overbought, and it's reaching some important resistance levels, and we might see some retracement potentially maybe at these levels. We'll have to wait and see. The bottom line is this, and this might be good news for Bitcoin bulls, that we've not seen yet the same extreme signal like we did in 2017. The same purple bar of extreme acceleration like we did in 2017. Now, we might get that in the next few weeks or next few months, but if you think about that, I don't think we're going to get that signal unless Bitcoin potentially moves into the 13,000 to 20,000 range. That's quite a wide range. Now, I'm not saying that Bitcoin is going to move into that range, between the 13,000 and 20,000 range. It might do that, yes, but what I'm saying is to generate the same bubble signal, the same extreme acceleration signal like we did in 2017, 2013, Bitcoin needs to go into that kind of range, into the 13,000 to 20,000 range, if it actually does that, and we don't know that. The bottom line is this, guys, that if Bitcoin does continue moving higher, if Bitcoin continues to surge even higher than the 61.8% retracement, and if it just does not see any kind of retracement, no pullback, and just continues to move higher, then the danger and the risk of an extreme acceleration signal, like we saw in 2013 before the major crash, and also like we saw in 2017, as you can see there, the risk of that increases if Bitcoin continues to move higher without a retracement. All right, guys. So that's why, guys, that is why I said in the previous video, the fact that Bitcoin is moving so fast and so parabolic is not necessarily a good thing. It's not a bullish thing. Actually, it's the opposite. The more parabolic and the more extreme this acceleration becomes, the more likely it is that it will probably form another acceleration, extreme signal like we did in 2017. And if that happens, then the odds and the probability of a devastating crash in Bitcoin does increase. That means this, guys, if we do see an extreme acceleration signal in the next few weeks or the next couple of months in Bitcoin, if we get one of those purple signals, then the probability of a devastating drop in the price of Bitcoin could become about 80%. In other words, very high. So that is the potentially bad news for Bitcoin. The bottom line is this, guys, as I mentioned in the previous video and also in this video, the fact is we've reached now we're very close to a very important resistance level, a 61.8% retracement. Let's see if this level holds Bitcoin. Let's see if Bitcoin starts a healthy retracement back down to the weekly 21 moving average that I mentioned in the previous video. If it doesn't do that, if Bitcoin does not see any kind of retracement, and if it just continues to push higher and higher, then the risk of an extreme acceleration signal, like we just saw a few moments ago, does increase significantly. And that means if that happens, then as Jason said, by that time, then 100% or nearly 100% of the bubble signals could then generate. By the way, also let me mention that this particular indicator, the LT Axel X, will be available on TradingView, I think by August of this year. And I'm considering at the moment making it available only to members at the present moment. Now we'll see about that in the next few months. But in any case, that is an indicator I'm developing right now for TradingView to be released in the next couple of months. By the way, guys, one last thing, which is that we have a members webinar coming up very soon, one with Linda Raschke and another with Dominic Frisby, the author of the book Bitcoin, Future of Money. So if you're not a member, feel free to join in the link you see right there. And guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for future videos. Thanks very much, Lee. Bye for now.